Good morning, my friends. It's Manny Rodriguez coming back at you with another episode of Deep True Crime, where we dive into those top true crime stories that are going on, whether they have already been solved and they're in the past, or they're currently going on and in the news as we speak. And in today's episode, I'm going to share with you 3 top true crime stories that are in the news today. My friends, I'm always looking for your feedback on what you like about the show and even what you don't like about the show. Because ultimately, my goal is to keep you tuned in with the information you are looking for. And so today I want to share with you 3 top true crime stories that are in the news today. And that's where we're going to start at, my friends. So the first thing I want to talk about is the 3 different stories. Number 1, I'm going to share with you a quote from a 3-year-old little girl who shared her daddy shot mommy. And this contradicts what daddy was saying about how the wife had died. I'm also going to share with you a road rage turned bad. And it's a sad story. All of these stories, anytime there deals with a death, it's a sad, sad story. And I'm going to share with you another story that is still up in the air. No one knows. But the question came into my head. Then all of a sudden I noticed other people were asking this question. Where is Brian Laundrie's gun? And speaking of Brian Laundrie, will his parents face any charges? Will the Petito family sue the Laundrie family? And so we'll dive into that, okay? And so let's dive into the very first story. Daddy shot mommy. Of course, anytime you have a young child involved, that's one of the ugliest things you can imagine. And so this story starts with a quote from the little girl contradicting, not knowing, what's going on. She's just 3 years old. She's sharing what she saw. Daddy shot mommy. So 3-year-old daughter who witnessed the alleged murder blows up the Texas man's claim that his wife shot herself in the head. That's first what he was saying. And come to find out, that is not actually accurate. And so we're going to dive into this story. You have Dabrion, hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right, Dabrion Brooks. Dabrion Brooks saying that his wife shot herself in the head. Come to find out, that's not so much accurate, as he came out of his house yelling, "My wife shot herself in the head. My wife shot herself in the head." Actually, that was not accurate at all. And so now we have Dabrion Brooks in jail because something froze up here, because he said his wife shot herself in the head. But the daughter actually contradicted the story, even saying it multiple times to people that daddy shot mommy. And so his alleged claim that his common law wife had shot and killed herself during a domestic disturbance argument was apparently undercut by the couple's 3-year-old daughter, who actually witnessed this, which is extremely sad on its own. So according to the prosecutors, they say that the girl actually witnessed the incident and then told police that daddy shot mommy. I mean, that is literally super hard to believe that that didn't actually happen. If the 3-year-old actually said this, come on. Why would she say that if that's not what happened? And so this account of the child, this came out during a Wednesday hearing, which was yesterday. Yesterday's hearing that she's actually saying, like, wait a second. Dabrion Banks, I said his name wrong earlier, who is 27 years old, he is now facing charges, murder charges, for allegedly killing the 24-year-old Kimberly Hernandez. Rest in peace, Kimberly Hernandez. Obviously, 24 years old, so much life to live. I hope my screen is not freezing up on me. I hope I'm coming through okay. Please let me know if there's any hiccups and I'm freezing or anything like that. I always forget I should just restart this whole thing before I start. That might prevent some of this craziness that goes on. So, Dabrion Banks, he's now facing murder charges for killing the 24-year-old Kimberly Hernandez. Oh my gosh, she had so much more life to live. And so on Monday night, just before 11 o'clock, deputies from the Harris County Sheriff's Office responded to a 911 call about a shooting at an apartment complex on East Sam Houston Parkway. And so upon arriving to the scene, the first responders discovered a female victim who sustained an apparent gunshot wound to the head. And the victim, who was, of course, later identified as Kimberly Hernandez, she was pronounced dead at the scene. Sad, sad, sad. Rest in peace, Kimberly Hernandez. And so, according to Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, during his initial interview with investigators, Banks said that Hernandez shot herself during an argument. And so, now the sheriff, he said that the couple's 3-year-old daughter and 20-month-old son were in the apartment at the time of the shooting and were unharmed, thank the Lord. But my gosh, to do this in front of your 2 children, to do this in the first place, terrible, terrible, terrible. Oh my gosh, there are bad human beings. This is one of the worst. When you could do something like that is, to me, one of the worst of the worst. That's my opinion. And so Banks originally first said that he and Hernandez were play fighting when the firearm went off. But then he allegedly told investigators that the argument was over text messages Hernandez found on his phone. And so investigators believe the argument quickly escalated and became physical, leading to the shooting. And so, of course, police are going to investigate this. They're obviously going to investigate this. And so police said that the 2 young children weren't just in the apartment when their mother died. The children actually witnessed the shooting. And the 3-year-old girl, she is said to have directly contradicted her father's claims about Hernandez shooting herself in statements to police and a neighbor. Okay, so he's obviously lying to take himself out of this. So prosecutors with the Harris County District Attorney's Office, they said yesterday of this live video on Wednesday, today's Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to those out there in the States. And they said that on Wednesday, the child actually described what happened this way. And she specifically said, the 3-year-old specifically said, "Daddy shot mommy." And so officers, they spoke with the juvenile, who told the officers, "Dad shot mom." And she even gestured with her hand as a pistol. And so officers, of course, are going to speak to anyone they can. And so they spoke to another witness who stated that the same child told her, "Daddy shot mommy." And so neighbors even reportedly told investigators that they overheard a disturbance coming from Banks' apartment shortly before the gunshot. And so neighbors even heard them arguing. According to the report, moments later, they told deputies a man was screaming that his wife just shot herself. Because he went outside and he started screaming, "My wife shot herself, my wife shot herself." That's what he was saying. So, do you think he thought this through before this? Or this was just spontaneous, "Oh my God, now I gotta try to figure out how I'm gonna get out of this"? And so, one of the neighbors also told deputies that they heard screaming and yelling from inside Banks' apartment at least once a week. At least once a week, they could be heard yelling and having arguments. And so deputies, of course, they're going to investigate what's going on, but they also investigated an alleged domestic violence incident at the apartment last month. So the case was reportedly dropped due to lack of prosecution by the complainant. The person who called it in did not want to press charges, did not want to cooperate, and they wanted to just move on, right? And so this is why you have all these domestic violence cases where they, the women don't always want to prosecute. They're whether it's fear, whether they feel like maybe it's a one-time thing, and sometimes it escalates, which it sounds like this might have escalated. And so, following the hearing, a judge set Banks' bond at $75,000. I will never understand how someone can get bond after killing somebody. Unless there's doubts in the judge's mind that maybe he didn't. I don't know. I'm not trying to play judge as well because I don't understand all that stuff. But the judge did order Banks to be on time for all his court proceedings and not to possess a firearm. And he also was ordered to have no contact with the neighbors who gave statements to investigators and to have no contact with his children who are also staying with family members now. So at the time of the shooting, Banks was already on deferred adjudication stemming from 2 other unrelated charges. So how did he get bond? I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works sometimes. I really don't. So I'm not going to play like I do because I really, really don't. But if he is accused of killing his common law wife, how does he get bail? How does he get a bond set at all? Those are the things that I don't understand. So there you have it. Daddy shot mommy, right from the words of the 3-year-old daughter. There you have that one. The next story I want to share with you, road rager killed. Another sad story, what story is not sad when it has to do with killing, right? There's never a good outcome for the most part when someone dies young, but this one is sad in multiple ways. Even the person that was killed who started this whole thing. So let's dive into it. And that's exactly what I want to share with you. Let's see, where are we at? Okay. So a minor accident on a Florida road escalated. And by all accounts, by the witnesses, this road rage started by the pregnant librarian who is now dead. And that's where it's so sad. Let me hear. Let's. This is after the shooting, and then we'll dive into the story.
Get on the ground!
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Don't move! Do not move!
I'm not gonna move.
Do not move!
I'm not moving.
Stay right where you are, okay?
Please don't shoot me.
I'm not gonna shoot you, just keep listening to what I'm telling you, okay?
I'm gonna move.
What's your first name?
Andrew.
Okay.
Here, let's move to the park.
That girl tried to kill me. She pointed a gun at
Okay.
me.
All right, just
There's
relax.
a gun to the left.
She tried
Okay?
to kill me.
Relax. This officer's gonna come around.
I'm so sorry.
Relax.
Leave that,
I'm not
leave the
moving.
horse
I'm not
Okay,
moving.
you're good.
Please. I'm not moving. I'm so sorry. She tried to kill me, and those other people are armed too. They had guns too.
Give me another cup.
Please be easy, gentlemen. I have no conviction. I didn't do anything wrong to defend myself.
There you have it. My audio was off. Now I got to turn it back on. So I don't know. I hope this stream is coming through. This thing is telling me the stream is going well, but when I look at the YouTube part, it looks like I'm in slow motion in some cases. And so you can see the intense moment after the librarian was killed. And she allegedly started this road rage incident over the weekend. This happened just this past weekend. And so they have the police have identified the victim as the aggressor. And so let me read to you here a statement from the Orange City Police Department. So according to, let me bring this down some so you can see it. It's probably going to be hard to see anyway. So an update to the original press release in reference to this case. So the investigation indicates, let's see if I can make this a little bigger. The investigation indicates that Sara Nicole Morales, the librarian, that she hit the motorcyclist, Andrew Derr, who you just saw was on the ground in that quick little body cam video that I showed you. And so this happened in the 1400 block of North Volusia Avenue. This was a minor crash. No one was injured. Derr was not injured or even ejected from his motorcycle. Witnesses and Derr attempted to have Morales stop at the intersection of 1792 and Wisconsin Avenue while she was attempting to make a left turn. Verbal contact was made with Morales for her to pull over for the arrival of law enforcement. Morales refused and was able to make the left turn onto East Wisconsin Avenue when traffic permitted. So she turned her left. She went about her way. Morales traveled to 1052 East Wisconsin Avenue. Derr and witnesses followed Morales in an attempt to help identify her for law enforcement. They stopped in the roadway in front of 1052 East Wisconsin Avenue, calling 911 to have law enforcement respond to the location. Morales went into her house and reemerged a short time later. Morales confronted the witnesses and Derr as they were on the phone with 911. Morales pointed a handgun at the witnesses and at Derr, the guy she hit, who was on the motorcycle. Derr, having a valid Florida concealed weapons permit, drew his concealed handgun and fired multiple rounds, striking Morales. Morales' handgun was recovered on scene. Derr remained on scene and has been cooperating with law enforcement from the beginning. These facts have been established by independent interviews. Orange City Police Department, in conjunction with the state's attorney's office, is continuing to investigate the incident. And that's, and that's where it's at. Okay?
Relax. This officer's gonna come around.
I'm so sorry.
Relax.
You can see Derr on the ground. You can see his motorcycle in the background. And so that is the up-to-date story. Now we have the body cam video that shows the intense moments after the Volusia County librarian was killed in an alleged road rage incident over the weekend, which is last weekend. And so investigators have now identified that the victim was also the aggressor. It's still sad. My guess, she was just trying to intimidate them with a gun, get away from my property. I'm guessing she was not going to shoot anybody. But I don't know. You wish this could have been prevented. I'm not really blaming Derr either, because he wanted the police to come and handle this hit and run. Because basically she hit him and she was trying to flee the scene. And so Sara Nicole Morales, she was shot outside of her home after deputies said she drove home to get a gun following some sort of altercation with a motorcyclist. And so now you can see the video where it shows deputies telling the man who pulled the trigger to stay on the ground. And he complies. He even says, as you heard in the screen, don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. And so he's like, please don't shoot me. That girl tried to kill me. She pointed a gun at me. And so Andrew, he even said there were other people armed with guns too. It's Texas. Seems like everyone has a gun. If I move to Texas, I better have a gun. And so, and Andrew Derr, I'm sure he feels bad about this, but he's probably also like, she pulled the gun out on me. I had to protect, I wanted to stay alive. Now, the deputies, not knowing all the story, they did put handcuffs on the man, as you can see. And so, according to the Orange City police officers, Morales was involved in that incident with the motorcyclist on North Volusia Avenue just after 5 p.m. on Saturday. I don't know. Was she coming from work? Was she coming from the library? And so investigators said Morales was behind the wheel of a blue Kia when she intentionally hit the motorcyclist and then fled the scene. And so that's when the motorcyclist and witnesses followed Morales to the intersection where they attempted to get her to stop. The motorcyclist and witness continue to follow Morales to her home while also contacting the law enforcement people. And so, according to the police, when Morales arrived at her house, she entered the residence to retrieve a gun, and a confrontation took place in the roadway. Morales was shot multiple times by the motorcyclist. And so, he did remain on the scene, as you can see on the video. And so, she did die. Rest in peace, librarian. I still feel bad for her. And yes, she is at fault here. But I still feel bad for her because I wish that this could have been prevented. After all these people are following, she's probably worried about her life now. And she had a gun at home to protect herself. And so it is sad. She was approximately 4 to 5 months pregnant. That's the worst part. that baby has nothing to do with this, right? And she also leaves behind an 11-year-old daughter and her fiance. At this time, no one has been charged. And to be quite honest, I don't think he should be charged with this. I literally do not believe that he should be charged with this. And so now Andrew Derr, 40 years old, he still gets to live another day. But, this was a minor crash. At the same time, did he have to go? He was okay. There was nothing there. They should have just got our license plates and got our home address and leave it there. This is what I mean. Sometimes things can go a little further than we want it to go. Because I can guarantee you, Andrew Derr feels bad about this. I bet you he feels bad about this. It was either him or her is probably the way he was thinking about this. And so now we wait to find out what will happen next. I don't think Andrew will face any charges, but we'll wait and see. So there you have it. Road rager killed. Next story up. Brian Laundrie. Let's have a little update around the Brian Laundrie. Something that I've been wondering about. Where is Brian Laundrie's gun? Why wasn't it known from the family from the onset about him having this gun? And this is where I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if the Laundrie family will face anything. And so let's talk about this a little bit. Where is the gun? Okay? And can the Petito family face any charges? I'm thinking they will. I'm thinking they will face some charges. Because if you think about it, they knew, number one, they knew he had a gun and didn't tell anyone, right? I'm guessing that the FBI has this gun. That's where, again, just a guess at this time. I really can't say for sure, right? I cannot say for sure where this gun is, but my guess is the FBI has this gun. And now we wait to find out more about this gun. And so you got where is this gun that Brian Laundrie used to kill himself? And so, because the autopsy has now come out that he did shoot himself in the head. He shot himself in the head. And this was according to the autopsy on what happened to this 23-year-old guy. As we know, it started on a cross-country trip with Gabby Petito, and only he came back. They would later find her body and that she was strangled to death. Oh my God, just the thought of that just burns me. And Brian Laundrie, it was definitely at the hands of Brian Laundrie. No one else has been a suspect in this case. No one else has been a suspect in this case. And so Brian Laundrie, he was the focus of a manhunt for more than a month as investigators searched for clues all over in the death of Miss Petito, right? And this was part of their cross-country van life trip that they were taking together. And so he was found to have shot himself in the head. Now, at first, they didn't have enough to say, okay, according to dental records, this was him, but let's double check. Let's make sure that this is him, right? And so Brian Laundrie, the body was taken, was for the forensics to really dig deeper into this. So the forensic anthropologists, they did a study on his remains, and now they have said it's definitely Brian Laundrie. There was a lot of conspiracy theorists out there like, oh, he even has an uncle who's a dentist. What if they pulled one on everybody? Okay. You know how conspiracy theorists are. I don't even know. I'm not going to judge conspiracy theorists because they actually play a role in a lot of things. And so now that they have the autopsies from this Brian Laundrie, there was no conclusive cause of death, in part because of the remains that were found submerged in an area of the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park in Florida on October 20th. And so authorities, they have been trying to repair a personal notebook retrieved from a dry bag near his body as part of the investigation into the death of his girlfriend and fiance of Gabby Petito. But no one talked about a gun. I am curious as to what's in that notebook, that's for sure. And so now we wait to see, will we know more? Will we know more about this gun? So what has Gabby Petito's family said? Well, according to an attorney for the family, they said the Schmidt and Petito family has been aware of the circumstances surrounding the suicide of the sole suspect in Gabby's murder. Gabby's family will not be making a statement at this time due to the request of the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Teton County Prosecutor's Office. And so, according to Stephen Bertolino, the Laundrie family attorney, he says he told reporters that, the recent autopsy, that he hoped the finding brought closure for both families, including that of Gabby Petito. And he even added that Chris and Roberta are still mourning the loss of their son and are hopeful that these things bring closures to both families. It won't. I mean, to me, justice for Gabby is him getting caught and serving out his time. He took the cowardly way out of this and took his own life. To me, that's not justice. I just don't see justice in that. I mean, that's not justice to me. Now, granted, if you're a person of faith, then you don't believe he's getting into heaven. To you, maybe that is. But I am a person of faith, and I still rather him get caught and serve out his time and just plead guilty and deal with the circumstances. But, I mean, why didn't he just do it sooner? Did he go home to say bye to his family? I mean, you could see him on the September 6th camping trip with his nieces, looking all happy. I don't know. That makes me cringe. That literally makes me cringe. And so, although the anthropologist's ruling has answered that one question, how did he die, it sure raises others. Like, where is the gun that he used? And according to his dad, who has like 10 different guns, there was a gun missing. But according to the lawyer, they didn't want people to know that he had a gun because then that would really put everyone on the edge. I still think everyone needed to know. And so they reported that they found the backpack. They reported that they found his notebook, but no one ever said anything about the gun. Why is that? Why is that? I don't know. But they still haven't talked about it. So we're wondering, where is this gun? Why didn't we know about this gun? And so now, Gabby Petito family, they're waiting to see if others will be charged, as Brian Laundrie's lawyer revealed the cause of death. And so the family of Gabby has said it is waiting to see if other individuals are charged over their daughter's murder after it was reported the suspect in her death had shot himself in the head. Not too sure how others would be facing charges for that. So that's interesting. Because truth is, he was only a person of interest. They still haven't said he caused this crime to Gabby. I mean, he's only been a person of interest by the FBI in the disappearance and killing of the 22-year-old, Gabby Petito. And so, let's be real. He did this. I'm not going to wait for anyone to say different. He killed Gabby Petito. There's no way anything else could have possibly happened about this. No way. No way. And so, Dog the Bounty Hunter, he even questions the latest news on Brian Laundrie. Right? Dog the Bounty Hunter, he's asking questions. If he's alive, he's going to get arrested. Right now, it looks like he committed suicide. Well, yeah, it definitely looks like it. Definitely looks like. And so he questioned the latest details released on Brian Laundrie's autopsy results, hinting that he believes that the fugitive could still be alive. Does he still believe that now? I don't know. How does that even happen? So of course, Dwayne the Bounty Hunter, he spoke of the fugitive as if there was still some doubt that the human remains found last month in Florida did not belong to him. So I don't think there's a doubt in my mind. Now that this is all basically closing in and coming to an end, I definitely believe he committed suicide using his dad's gun. And I believe that the FBI does have his gun. But they're not reporting on that. Because if they have his gun, they're matching it with the bullet hole in his head. And they're going to do more forensic, study on this. But the autopsy has come out. And so, the question is, did Brian Laundrie leave a suicide note? Because this notebook that he left, it might be the last chance of learning how Gabby Petito died. No one's talking about it. Because if that thing has been submerged in water, that's going to be hard to read. And because they found that with his belongings on October 20th. And so, but the thing is that when they found that notebook, they did find it in a dry bag. So, was it dried? I mean, you're talking about an area that had been underwater for nearly a month. And so the notebook definitely sustained some water damage. No doubt about that. But they're hoping that maybe it will be salvageable. But, we don't know. So all we know is that he has been confirmed that the human remains, according to the FBI, according to Stephen Bertolino, the remains did belong to him. So, who kept this hidden? That he had a gun? Did the FBI keep this hidden? Because they are taking a lot of heat for hiding the fact that he was armed and dangerous. Because if he shot himself, he definitely had a gun. And so, Stephen Bertolino, he was quoted as saying by the Daily Mail, we didn't want the public going into a frenzy on that. I don't think they considered him dangerous to anybody he met on the street. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree that he was only a harm to himself and Gabby. I don't think he was harmful to everyone else. But if he was closed in and he had I don't know. I mean, the guy took his life. But people are upset with the FBI for hiding that Laundrie was armed and dangerous. But was he? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the FBI is supposed to protect, but what were they hiding? What were they hiding about not saying that he may be armed and dangerous? That's weird on its own. I mean, what would the FBI be hiding with that? That's a good question if you ask me. So, according to Laundrie's family lawyer, he says that he has no reason to think the parents will face charges in Gabby Petito case. He's an attorney, but we will wait to find out on that as well. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that they should face any charges? Do you think they should face any charges? Let me know in the comments if you think they should face any charges. You know, what charge? Obstruction of justice, maybe? Right? They didn't say anything when they knew that a crime was committed. They'll have to prove that they knew, because that would definitely be a reason to arrest them or to face any criminal action. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think that the Laundrie family should face any charges? And if so, what? Obstruction of justice is definitely, hiding a kind of helping him kind of escape. Again, you got to prove all this stuff because no one talked from the beginning. Literally, no one talked at all from the get. My friends, I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me on this holiday if you joined me today. Otherwise, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching this video. Please let me know if there are any particular cases you want me to talk about and dive deep into. Because my goal is you. Because at the end of the day, we want to stay safe. And truth is, we're not going to stay. It's hard to stay safe in this corrupt world. This is a rough world we live in. But my goal with this channel is to help you be aware of what could possibly go wrong in your life. What could go wrong in the world. To help you stay alert of your surroundings. You know, Gabby Petito, there were probably signs there. There were probably red flags that she didn't pay attention to. If I can help you be aware so that you can pay attention to these red flags, it's like you take this librarian. Okay, if that's you, number one, don't flee the scene. Don't run home thinking I got a gun. I mean, just deal with what comes your way. She would be alive to see this baby born if she didn't flee the scene. I don't know what was going through her head, but I can tell you her actions were wrong. And it caused her her life. It cost her her life. Rest in peace, librarian. I do wish that you didn't do this, and I am going to say rest in peace to you. You did something wrong, but I don't think that you should be, I feel you should be here today. I feel, Miss Hernandez, I feel you should be here today. I'm sorry that this coward took your life. I'm sorry. Gabby Petito, I wish you were here today. Rest in peace, Gabby. Rest in peace, librarian. Rest in peace, the Hernandez. I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me today. Let me know in the comments if there's any particular cases you would like me to cover. My goal is to help you stay alert. Thank you and have an amazing day. I look forward to serving you again.